With slab building, you need to be careful about how you join things, and this is going to focus on just absolute basic joinery of components. I'm going to clean these up as much as I can before I attach them. And then from here is very important, and you can do both sides if they're going to be visible. Do as much cleanup as you can before attaching things, because after you attach parts together, it gets a lot more difficult to clean up. I'm going to join this edge and this edge together, and I have two options. I could either just do a basic box joint, scoring both edges, putting slip on them, and then I'm going to put these together in such a way that I've got a little bit of overlap, so it's not perfectly even, you could say. Press those quite firmly together, and then I'm going to move the clay from one slab to the other. And by moving that clay, it actually helps to merge the two sides. I'm going to just run my rib over that just to clean it up. And then what I actually like to do is take a small coil, and then I will usually run that up any sort of interior seams, especially where they're not going to be visible. If they are going to be visible, I generally clean them up as best as possible, or I will just avoid trying to do this. Reinforcing your seams with a coil really does add a significant amount of strength. But if it's visible, you need to make it clean. You do not want to leave it very messy. So that's option one. Option two is that I could cut these at a 45-degree angle. And I can do a miter cut similar to how you do in the wood shop. You do have to make sure the cut goes all the way to the back of the clay and you don't have a ridge there. This can be a little finicky, especially if you don't have something to specifically hold your tool at a very specific angle. This is why I usually do box joints over this. And then I'm going to score this on both sides. Add slip. And then I'm going to very firmly press these two sides together. And then I'm going to work on making sure I have a sharp edge. And that actually turned out quite cleanly. There is a little bit of a gap there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that with coil. You don't want to have to fill as much, so ideally you make sure that your pieces actually line up perfectly, because otherwise you can end up with a gap like that. But I'm going to try and fill this. And there we are. And I'm just making sure I press this in enough that I'm not leaving any air pockets in this piece. And those are the two basic ways to actually join slabs.